The Canik SFx Rival S in its beautiful case. You're going to see today our absolute first shots, cold impressions. We'll do a full magazine plus one test, even though we know these mags run. Our trademark what's for dinner test. We'll do some sights and trigger control on the spinner, some practical accuracy shots from 7 yards, and then give you the concluding thoughts of 2 shooters coming up next on GB Guns.
What better way to get ready for SHOT Show than being on the range with the Canik Rival S. These obviously are not cold shots for me from this particular gun, but for today they are. We had a sneak preview of this a few months back at our publishers event, and Tia got to shoot it there, but I didn't. I took every minute I could to shoot it. So we're shooting at our ABC zone down there at about 25 of my paces, which typically is about 25 yards. So, and off camera we did swap the back strap to the large size. It came with the small on it, and surprisingly we found that the large was what worked best for both of us. Yeah. Kind of as a compromise. All right. Thoughts? Well, it shoots like a dream and it makes you want to shoot faster, but I got to reel myself in a little bit, make sure I'm on target before I squeeze the trigger. And it's got a red front sight, so it's creating a little bit of that difficult sight picture for me. There's just never enough to really warm up. I'm a true Canik fan, so this is going to be a fun review. We should probably see what Graham thinks though. I noticed a little bit of bounce in your hands, and then it's like you learned the gun and got on it, and then the gun was just anchored in your hands. 10 rounds of PMC bronze. Now in the past on these Caniks, I've had the issue of my thumb preventing slide lock. I'm going to today try to be conscious and avoid that by placing my firing hand thumb on the other hand. Oh, that's easy. If you're wondering about that miss, there was actually a clay on the back berm that I shot instead because this gun's that fast. That's really comfy. Holy cow. Cool. Well, next, I get to try burning it down, which will give you guys a chance to see what recoil control is like with a gun this heavy and a barrel this long. Full magazine plus one. Now we've come to know and trust Canik mags quite a bit, as Tia can testify because she's run Caniks at a few different courses. But we do this anyways because things could change. I gotta say, to the merit of Metgar, loading the 18th round felt like I was loading the 10th round. It was pretty easy to load, pretty comfortable. Do got to give it a little bit of an extra bump with that mag well there to make sure that it's all the way seated, because it is a flush fit. But now we have 19 rounds of PMC bronze. I'm going to ideally hit the steel, but really burn it down so we can watch this mag work, and you guys can see how recoil looks like in a big chunky gun like this. Pretty smooth. I gotta say, and Tia, make note of this, or maybe you've already got thoughts on it. The recoil impulse feels nice and slow. It's kind of like riding a wave a little bit. Kind of like you're sitting in a caddy on a Friday night, cruising Maine. Big old boat of a car. All right, next we'll see what it eats in What's for Dinner. It's that time again, What's for Dinner time. Thanks to our patrons, MO Squared supporters, True Shot Gun Club, and even some viewer donations, we have a load compatibility test. Remember, this is not a pass-fail for the gun or the ammo, but the combination thereof. We're looking to see, with all of these different case materials, projectile shapes, overall lengths, etc., is, will it feed from slide lock? Is there energy to feed and cycle another round of the same type? And does it lock open on empty? The third round reduces variables. Going past that would be to test the magazine, which quite frankly for this gun is kind of silly. These magazines are long proven. We've got our Nosler ASP for our match ammo, and we'll be using PMC bronze thanks to our Ammo Squared supporters for all of our ball ammo.
For circle number 1 today, we have Liberty Ammunition Civil Defense. This is a 50 grain plus P ammo, nice and silvery.
Nickel plated.
Matches the Canik well.
And we, not too long ago, did a test on this ammo. There's a interesting article on gbgunsdepot.com that, yes, I'll show the folks. Hold on, that's just pretty. Tilt it towards us. That's pretty. Okay. Anyways, this ammo's got some pretty interesting numbers. Oh. We're not feeding?
Nope, it just mashed into the feed ramp.
All right, we'll load another round in there and see what happens then. Take 2 on the Liberty. Okay,
Whew.
good.
Nice.
This stuff is loud. Camera, play with us here.
So I adjusted my grip because it's been noted and noticed that I've been healing my recoil rather than working through it. So I'm going to use a little bit different grip. For circle number 2, sent in from a viewer, we have the Underwood ammunition. This is a 68 grain Extreme Defender, also in a plus P.
Also known as a tactical screwdriver.
Circle 2, if I didn't already inform you. That's a little bit plussed up.
Spicy.
Man, the Canik just handles it though.
Not a bad group.
For circle number 3, we have Polyfrange frangible ammunition. This is a lead-free 90 grain flat-tipped. Nice little copper color, and is it a copper polymer?
I believe it's a copper polymer blend. Not sure. This is mostly a law enforcement military application for training or officers that are on school grounds, things like that. Good for indoor ranges. I did not see the trigger reset on your second shot. I'd forgotten how short the reset is.
Yeah, they'll get you, but I was fully in control of that. Like, that was completely intentional.
Well, it shows
I did
on
okay.
paper. Yeah, did great.
And for circle number 4, we have Koenig's premium ammunition. This is 110 grain jacketed hollow point.
Oh. You know, I wonder if maybe the mag, you're not getting the mag fully seated. It's just kind of in there, but not clicked.
Okay.
Try now. Nope. Looks
Man,
like
I'm gonna have bruises. I'm kidding.
we'll try one more load of the Koenig to make sure that that was just a round thing and not a gun thing. And what we're doing here is what we do whenever we get one of these. We're making sure that that round didn't get seated too far back in the brass. Doing so increases pressure, and that's how you end up with accidental plus P's or plus P pluses. How's that look? Is it still about the same height?
No, it's nearly the same height, but the front is smashed up in a way that it's
Probably not going to feed.
I'm not comfortable with it.
All right, we'll get another one.
Circle number 4.
Oh.
No.
Nope,
It's
not
not
going to
gonna
happen with
happen.
this stuff.
So moving on to circle number 5 with some Blazer aluminum ammunition. This is 115 grain, and we use aluminum and steel.
Because they have a different expansion and contraction rate than brass, which is what most guns are designed for. They also have a different friction coefficient, meaning the friction of the rounds against each other in the magazine and going into and coming out of the chamber is different, so some guns choke on it. The ammo exists, however, because aluminum and steel are much cheaper than brass, and that makes for cheaper ammunition. That stuff usually shoots pretty softly. How'd it feel in the beastly Canik?
I've noticed that when we're shooting guns of this size, that they seem to perform like they're supposed to the higher grain weight that we go. So this is feeling very much like you explained, that cushy ride that you would expect out of a large metal frame gun.
Circle number 6 is going to be Red Army Standard, 115 grain. This is a steel case ammunition. Same thing, same reason why we do the aluminum. And as you're watching this, folks, and wondering about ammo compatibility, keep in mind this is a competition gun, not a defense gun. What we had there was the extractor slipped off of the casing. That also sounded a little different to me. What'd you think, Tia?
Yeah, it didn't finish it for sure.
It's got a crisper, harsher sound than normal.
The bullets impacted a little bit differently too.
Circle number 7 is Federal's Premium Punch, 124 grain. This is a jacketed hollow point.
I can't believe it's not even colored correctly.
Well, you think it should be like a fruit punch? Circle number 7.
I'm a little envious that I'm not getting to shoot all of the what's for dinner, but dang, look at that group.
That happened.
Dang.
Circle number 8 will be the Remington HTP High Terminal Performance Jacketed Hollow Point, 147 grain. And just off camera, I was commenting that the fineness of the fiber optic on this sight makes it really easy to get a tight aiming. Plus, there's plenty of daylight on either side of the front sight post. Now watch me screw up this group right after I post about it. No issues with that stuff. Smells sweet.
Like barbecue.
Yeah, a little bit. Bit of an uncommon one for Circle 9 is Ruag's Subsonic 154 grain. It is snubby and has a rather steep shape to its curve. So far, so good. Very soft.
I love the bass of the percussion.
Sorry for the delay there, folks. I didn't want to screw that up because that was turning out pretty nice.
Gonna have to put in work.
And our last and heaviest load, weighing in 115 grains, ironically the average 9mm load in America, heavier than our lightest load, 165 grains. Thanks to True Shot Gun Club for the Ammo Incorporated Stealth, 165 grain TMC. And I bet you guys never realized that Stealth doesn't need the A in it. Ammo Inc. realizes that. And Pepperidge Farm remembers. Oh, it's like a cap gun. Very easy shooting. Looked like the ejection was just barely hopping out too.
Yeah, it was right in front of me.
You're looking at our 6-inch Titan Great Outdoors spinner target, and we are back here, how far, Tia?
15 yards.
15 yards from a 6-inch target. We use this target for sights and trigger control because you've got a small target far away, and when you hit it, it starts moving. So then you have to time your shots, which makes trigger control important. It's a challenge. It's a bit of fun. Tia thinks it's a competition. She's got 10 rounds of PMC bronze and ready to go.
It's competition with myself. Okay, working on that grip.
Looks like a little low, maybe? Yeah.
Dang.
Oh.
It was going. I was figuring out the whole swinging thing because I have so much confidence in my ability to shoot Caniks that the swing was all I was really having to worry about. That was going to be awesome, but it's not. So.
But with this fine sight, was it difficult to track that target, or did the light on either side of the front sight post make it easier for you?
Oh, it was definitely easier because if the sights are fine, but they're also red, they stay right there. That's also due to the gun shooting so flatly. So the sights, I didn't have to chase at all. Like they were just right there. It was just waiting for that momentum and then double checking, you know, my alignment on the top of my sight to make sure I wasn't too high or low. So.
And how'd the trigger work for you on being able to time a shot?
That's hard for me to say because I'm so comfortable and confident with a Canik trigger. I've learned these over time. If this was my first time, I feel like it might have been too quick for me. Like if this was my first time on a Canik doing that, they take a little bit of getting used to. They can sneak up on you if you're not prepared, but not as bad as some others that I know.
I don't know what you're talking about. 8 rounds of PMC Bronze 115 grain.
It'll go like 3 times, watch.
Die.
That didn't count because I loosened it up first.
Yeah, the sight picture is excellent for doing something like that. Having that extra space. Ooh, we've got a little bit of smoke getting up there on the fiber optic. But having the extra space on either side of the front sight post, which you guys, if you didn't see the tabletop, you'll definitely see it in the article, makes it very easy to track and be aware of your target environment and area, which I liked. The trigger, the wall is not a big one, I guess you could say. And so there were a couple that I think I let loose sooner than I wanted to, but that's a matter of having time on these guns. Tia's got more trigger time with Caniks than I do, so for her it's probably a little more refined, but as she said, something you're going to want to be aware of if you're new to Caniks, because these triggers are right there and ready, and it's very short travel. There's not a lot of room for error on it. Speaking of room for error, next is our practical accuracy.
So for accuracy, we have 5 rounds from about 7 yards of the Nosler ASP, and I will be aiming at the left circle square.
And folks, we use this target specifically because that square
afraid of that.
is 1 inch, and from 7 yards, it scales to about the same width as the front sight post. Now, going on in the background here, Tia just had another feed issue with...
Yeah, it doesn't like it.
It's not eating it?
No.
All right, we'll have to find some other ammo. May not be so matchy, but it's a competition gun. It's supposed to be high volume ammo. Maybe we'll get some high volume ammo. All right, off camera, it chambered. So we've got the Nosler ASP. Hopefully we can do 2 strings of 5 out of it. Ugh. Nicely done. 5 rounds of Nosler ASP from 7
I wondered
yards.
where the mag was. Interesting that just went right in for you. I wonder if I was overcompensating with how firmly I was hitting the mag.
That could be. Yeah, this front sight post seems to be slightly smaller than the square.
Yeah.
Oh. Hold on, folks, we had a malfunction. So what happened, and I didn't see it until the click, is we're not out of battery here. The barrel is locked into the slide, but the slide did not go all the way forward. Unfortunately, I've already tripped the trigger, so the striker's released. Oh, and now we're locked up. We're locked up good.
Oh.
There we go. See if you could hand me that round. It flung it pretty far. Oh, that got... Nope, that's just water from the ground.
Pick it up again.
This is the reality of shooting. We do single takes, unscripted, no redos. So, all right. And again, we're in battery. Slide wasn't all the way forward. Interesting. All right.
There we go.
This ammunition is usually kind of spicy. Not feeling spicy in this big gun.
Has a very traditional ammunition scent. So after, working through our whole review, I love it even more. What I know about it is that it is a heavy gun because it's an all metal gun, but it's so well balanced that I don't notice that weight. Just before we finished or turned the camera back on, I asked Graham if it felt heavy to him, because I don't notice that it feels heavy. And it's been a while since I've handled one of the SFx Mete, but I've shot that for 4 days in a row, and I believe with the way that this is balanced and sits in my hand, I could probably do the same with this without too much fatigue, and the way that it mitigates the recoil on my wrist, because it's got so much weight behind it. I'm really impressed with it, and it's just very aesthetically pleasing, if you will.
Now, one of the differences that I noticed is with that back strap wrapping all three sides, and then you've got cross checkering on the front strap instead of the polymer texture that's on the polymer Caniks. How did that feel to you?
It's a noticeable improvement, if you will, in being able to maintain your push-pull grip without slipping. I didn't shoot any of the heavier loads, but because this is a heavy gun, I don't think that would have mattered. I didn't notice that I was having to readjust my grip at all, because it gets in there, but it's not tearing it up. It'll leave a print, but I don't feel like I would be raw after days of shooting it. And I'm noticing that there is a bit of texturing here. I don't use that, but if someone did, it's also got that same texturing on it that's pleasant. It's noticeable, it's effective, not abrasive. And as far as the sights go, the sights work great. I would just personally prefer a green sight on the front. They work better for me. They don't seem to move as much or blend as much with my corrected vision. So that's, for me, what I would prefer. And if it was just me shooting this gun 4 days, I would choose one of the other versions. I can't remember which one it was, but it felt a little bit better in my hand, but I could see where it wasn't going to work for Graham. Yeah, and this one works well.
It was odd that the large of all of them ended up being the compromise for us.
I like a little bit more swell here, because then it pushes the meat of my hand up into here and causes complete contact on the palm of my hand. So that's why I went with this one today.
I think this is the 10th Canik we've had on the channel, and of them, it's the pickiest or second pickiest on ammo. Why is that? Well, it could be we've got a competition gun here, and it's meant to run on competition type ammo, not self-defense rounds, not some of the obscure stuff that we put in What's for Dinner. Kind of buy that, kind of don't. Could it be that the gun was a little dry? We run guns as they come right out of the box? Maybe. Could it be that since we have an early sample, obviously you guys know we're filming this before the guns are even shipping to retailers, that maybe this is not the same as what the mainstream guns will be? That could be as well. I don't know which one of those, or if it's a blend of those, that caused us to have malfunctions with this that we haven't seen in the other Caniks. However, as a platform, this has been the most comfortable of them all to shoot. As a platform, it's meant as a range, taking courses, competition gun, and all three of those instances you won't be using some of the ammunition that we use in our tests. So on the ball, and we were running Blazer 115 grain, not exactly, or not Blazer, sorry,
PMC bronze.
PMC bronze, not exactly the hottest stuff out there. We had no issues with that. So I am not going to judge this gun as having an issue, not going to judge it as perfect until we find out a little bit more about it. I'm not afraid to recommend it as an option if you're looking for one of those 3 applications that this is best fit for. As a home defense gun or something like that, I don't know. There are other options out there, and heck, the polymer rivals ran just fine in our what's for dinner tests, and that included a lot of defensive loads. Ironically, after I say all that, the best group that we had was with Federal Punch, which is a defensive load. And Federal Punch brings up a great point. Normally when I shoot that, and those of you that have been with the channel for a while know that that's typically not a fun round to shoot. It punches. It's got really unpleasant recoil. The weight of the Rival S soaked all that up, and I didn't mind at all. And looping back around to the intent of this platform, I think that's a perfect fit, because if it can soak up Federal Punch and shoot nice, it's definitely going to shoot nice for days on end of training or competition or any type of high round count setup. I know a lot of you were wondering for a head-to-head of this versus the polymer model. That deserves its own video, and I think deserves input from you guys, the viewers, as to what you want to see us do. There are competition shooters that have done plenty of their variant of comparing the steel versus polymer. You can go watch those if you want to get deep into it. If you want to see it from casual defensive shooters like Tia and I, let us know in the comments section what you'd like to see us do. We have some ideas of maybe trying some slow motion, maybe trying some transitions, but really it'll be up to you guys. So leave us comments on that. We've got to get home and pack because we're flying to SHOT Show tomorrow.
In like 18 hours.
You guys are probably watching this during SHOT Show, maybe a little bit after. I'm not sure when it'll air. Patrons, you guys are seeing it before SHOT Show. Thanks for your support, and we'll do some more digging and definitely spend some more time shooting this. See you guys in the next video.
It's only 13 hours.